What's good, friends, and welcome back to Authentic Talk Wednesdays. I am so glad that you have been rocking with us for 9 episodes. I am amazed at what God can do when you tell him your yes. We're about to go to our season finale, but I would be remiss if I didn't invite my very good friends, Geren and Melissa, to come alongside and share about their life and how they've been such an inspiration to me. So, guys, I want to introduce you to Geren and Melissa. Why don't you guys say hello?
Hey, what's up, y'all?
Hey, guys. Listen, we have been close friends for a very long time now. We've been rocking since Cornerstone University, where we all graduated. And when I tell you, God has blessed my entire life through their light, like, I mean it hands down, through their marriage, through their business, and even just friendship. And tonight, I want us to talk about all of those things and allow you to be inspired through how God has been moving through their lives. So this is what we're going to do. Friends, I want you guys just to first introduce yourself. So give you like full name, where you're from, and what's going on with your life right now. Give the people an update.
You want me to go first?
Yeah,
Ladies before. There you go.
ladies first, I guess. So my name is Melissa Albury, and well, I have 6 names, but we're gonna stick with Melissa Albury. Melissa Aubry. I am originally from the Ivory Coast in West Africa, between Ghana and Liberia. If you're not sure where that is, we're a French-speaking country. And I moved to the U.S. in 2009, and I went to high school, undergraduate, and graduate school there. And then just recently moved to the Bahamas with my husband, I think last
9 months
ago. September. Yes, so 9 months ago. So yeah, that's a little bit about me.
Yep. So as you can tell, she is the cooler one. I just hope that I'm from the Bahamas. My name is Geren Melissa. I also came to America in 2009. We didn't know each other then. I was actually in Florida at that time.
And I was in Michigan.
Yeah, so now we're married. I took her back to Bahamas, and then, yeah, it's been 4 years now, so it's been dope. Yeah, so that's a little bit about the Aubry's. I'm really excited to be on the show. We've been following, so we're really excited to be on the show as well, too. So thanks for having us, Bree.
Yes, thanks, Bree. And one thing I wanted to mention, we met Bree in college. She was a year ahead of us, and she was always worshiping authentically, literally.
Yeah.
And so I always admired her worship and just how she carried herself. So we met Bree in 2012, and we've been friends since.
Yeah.
And do you remember, like, one of the things that really stood out is that choir concerts that we would have, you will always be there. So, like,
yes.
Y'all should have put her on the team.
And you may already know, like, a little bit into college road, you know how all of the majors hang out with each other, like the music majors hang out with each other, the athletic people hang out with each other, teacher. But, like, Mel always broke those barriers. She was always, like, infiltrating every
Yes.
That sounds about right. That sounds like her.
It's a testament to her life, and you'll hear a little bit more why. Now, guys, this is what I want to do. I really want to dive into one of the ways you guys inspire me incredibly, and it's through the hard work of your business. So, like, how long have you been in business at this point? About how many years?
I want to say 3 years, like counting the unofficial time, the business registration.
That's a good guesstimation.
Listen.
Well,
okay.
Good.
Like I said, this product was here before me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm the 3rd generation, so it's been around. Let's just say that.
Everybody what it is. I'm a firm believer in this, and I'm going to let them give you the whole rundown of what it is. But just going to, like, begin to explain to people the origin and tell them what I'm holding right here.
Okay, YouTubers. Well, I'm gonna be on my YouTube thing too. So here, I hope you can see. Yeah. Okay. So this is Shead.
Yeah.
SHEAD. Shead. You see the tree in the name. So this business, pretty much, like I mentioned earlier, it's been in my family for 3 generations. I'm the 3rd generation, from my grandmother to my mom to myself. Now, I just had this product in my dorm room. I kind of like, I'll be honest, I kind of like never use. It's kind of like those things where you don't know what you have until someone else points it out. Yeah. So at the time, I didn't realize what I had. It was just this thing my mom would like constantly try different things. Oh, you should try it. You should try it. I'm like, okay, I'll take it, and not really give much thought. So again, Geren and I were friends during pretty much our whole college life until we didn't start dating until like end of junior year. Yeah. But he's gone through so many hairstyles. I mean, from locks to braids to low cut now. I mean, yeah.
With the wave.
And he's particular about what he likes to put in his hair. Like it's like all natural, organic, and stuff like that. So I thought, oh, maybe I would try this product. So I brought it, and as I was doing his hair, I put the product in his hair, and he was like, wait, what's that you putting in my hair? And I got so nervous. I was like, what is he gonna say? And I said, don't worry about it. It's just this little thing my mom makes. And he was like, no, what is it? I said, oh, it's with wait, people have this like stuff. And I'm like, first of all, who are you? Like, you just this friend. Second of all, like, okay, what does that even mean? So that was before we even started dating, and we've been married 4 years now. That's why he liked to like question me and argue that this product hasn't been on. So I'm like, well, officially, technically 3 years. But anyway, Geren.
I mean, one of the things that I loved about it was just that the product was just so light. It would last all day. That's one of the things that really attracted me to it. So it was crazy for me where I saw that the product was just in a dorm, wasn't being used. Like, she had one jar that she had like the whole semester, maybe even more at that point. Yeah. And so eventually I got to allow it to like give me some. So I took some home. I started using it more and more. And I was like, man, we got to start this because, you know, I definitely felt like it was adding a lot of value to me. And I said, man, more people got to have this. So I'm really happy that we took the leap. I'm really happy that we took the jump to do it. Just because, I mean, starting anything out can be really nerve-wracking. You have so many thoughts. You know, like you have so many thoughts. Like when you're starting something out, you're worrying about external things, like what's people gonna think. You're worrying about internal things, if this is what you really should be investing your time in doing. And so I'm just happy that we, you know, keep going, we keep pushing. Because we know, like what our mentor says is like you could be 3 feet away from goal or 3 feet away from what it is that your goal may be, and so
don't give up.
Right, we just want to keep going because we know that 3 feet is somewhere. We might be digging all over the place, but it's somewhere, and we know that we're gonna hit it. So we're really excited to just keep pushing, and we love it.
And this is the thing, I've seen y'all do so many amazing things from the time you started your business to how you grew it to how you're effectively putting your hands to continue to expand. And the way I've seen you guys dream about what can be of your company has like blessed my whole life. And many times in my life inspired me to continue to step outside the box and to do something different and to be radical and daring and take risks. I want to press into that a little bit because we can acknowledge that 2020 has been, it's been
something.
And like, we're only halfway.
We're only halfway. And this is, I believe that even in the midst of all the chaos that we've seen, that we've had space and opportunities to put our hands to do what God has called us to do more now than ever. And that's a general statement. But you know what I mean with being on quarantine, being on lockdown, we've just had a lot of time on our hands, forgive me. But tell me what has been, and Geren, you can start with this because you're like I see you as like the engine, you know?
Yeah.
Tell me what has kept you motivated, like, especially if there were any defining moments within your business where you're like, maybe I should stop. Or maybe I should just quit. Can't help somebody.
That's every day.
That's real. I mean, I was just like, we were just thinking about that because, you know, what keeps us motivated to know that it's bigger than us, right? And, you know, when you know that you have something that you're working on, you know that it's something that you want your family to embrace. It's something that you want your legacy to be part of your legacy. you definitely keep on pushing toward and pushing forward. Like, I just starting to make quote Proverbs 13:22 like my favorite verse, because one of the things that it says, like, a good man leaves an inheritance for his children's children. And so one of the things that we want to do, yes,
emoji,
right. And one of the things that we want to do, is just make sure that not only do we have a business or something for our kids and our family, but we also have a mindset, and we also have an idea that we're relaying over to our kids. So, although we want Shead to be successful, we definitely want to craft a mindset for our family. We definitely want it to be something where our family knows this is what we do.
Right.
It may not be Shead, but it could be, hopefully it could be in a Shead, but like it could be other things. And when we're able to start having values, and we're able to start having kingdom values of what it is that our family does,
right.
When you have the enemy start knocking on the door, those can be things that even if I'm not in the room, even if Melissa's not there,
you
then
see
we
I'm
can know.
preaching? Sorry, I had to say something.
So anyways, so all I'm trying to say is that, when we can have those values and we're able to be in a position where our kids know who they're standing for, what they're standing on, I think it transcends the business. So that's what continues to motivate my side.
Yeah, and for me, we always talk about this, like, why do we keep going? Because literally almost every day we wake up like, you know what, this may be the day we just walk away.
Yeah.
Like, especially this year, in between moving and the pandemic and everything, it's like you start questioning everything.
Yeah.
You start doubting, like looking at your numbers, you're like, oh my goodness, like, ugh. But you still somehow find the strength to keep going. And for me, that's been our customers. I mean, I let them know, I'm like, y'all will let us quit. Like, as soon as I'm like, you know what, that's it.
I know
someone would text me, exactly, like, listen, this is the only thing I use. Come on, y'all got any in stock? Like, this is the only thing I use. I can even imagine using anything else other than Shead, because it's so versatile, and because it's all purpose. People text us all the time, or they send us messages like, hey, I tried Shead with this, and it works well. Have y'all tried deodorant? I'm like, go ahead, sis. Like, go ahead and use this all purpose. You got this. Keep buying. Tell your mama and your sister, cousin.
And it's all natural. We can trust.
Yeah.
All infused too, which is one thing, and it's biochemist formulated. Like,
yes, from my very own mother, who is constantly, like I said earlier, she loves to make stuff and figure out, try this and try that. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm so used to it. I'm like, okay, Mom, I'll try it. And to be honest, it was one of those things I was like, okay, sounds good. And he pointed out that, hey, this is actually good. Like, don't become too familiar with something that you don't actually see the value of it, right? So that's kind of, that's how we are now.
So,
and go ahead.
No, go ahead. Finish your point, because y'all talking.
No, I was gonna say, and for me, our customers have been the reason why we keep going every day. Like, okay, how can we provide the best customer service, the best high quality product that we know how to, right? So we constantly think of how to refine our processes, whether it's business processes and structures, to be able to still operate in our business while in the Bahamas, still having our shipments and stuff like that in the midst of the pandemic. I mean, whoo, okay,
right?
I'm like, look, this one was taking me out.
But God, you can see how he's graced and favored you all.
Yes.
What you're doing, because you took in that first step and operated out of obedience. God, I believe even in the hard times or whatever you faced up until this point, you've just seen how you've been able to overcome and go from faith to faith, glory, and trust in God. So guys, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to definitely make sure that I link these products in my description, and you'll definitely have website and social media. Follow them, because even along with the business, just their whole life is inspirational. But here's a couple of things I heard in what you guys were saying, right? I heard you talk about leaving a legacy for your family.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, that's his favorite word. Oh God.
And I want to jump into that. But I also heard you talk about the motivation of not wanting to give up, because there are people that are not only dependent, but there's people that are waiting for what you have, the product that you have. And
Right.
Listening, your product could be your ministry, your product could be whatever, your business, yourself, that people are waiting. I want you guys to tap into that. So maybe one of you will take one of those questions, the other you take the other one. But just speak a little bit more about the desire to leave a legacy when it comes to being young and married and family. Let's get into that, because y'all are definitely, for me, relationship goals.
Right.
Go ahead, Pastor Geren.
So y'all stop. Yeah, I was saying, I think it's two parts for me, especially when I think of it. Like, I think of the living legacy, which is the idea that is starting to be implemented, and you start seeing your kids starting to take on the things that you're doing. I also think it's after you're gone. So like, for me, when I think of the legacy that I want to have for my family, I definitely want it to be ideas that we have that separates us, to say, you know, this is what we do, this is who we are, this is the Aubry unit. And then I also think it's a side where it's like, okay, you know, I'm gonna pass away, but then it's like, okay, now, although dad is gone, or although, because it's not even me as the head, it's like my pops is still the one who is the patriarch. So the ideas that he had came down from me, and now the ideas that I have is going to my family. So I wanted to continue to be like that. So even when I'm gone, that my kids, my family is able to still put things in motion. Like, I want us to be in a position where we are honoring God with our skills, and we are being in a position where that we continue to grow and adapt. Because if I can segue a little bit, like I was telling Melissa, you know, COVID-19 has been different for everyone. Like, and it's one of those things where when you think of what happened during COVID-19, like, are you taking advantage of the time? Because some people need to take advantage of the time. Some people need to rest. Some people need to connect. Some people do need to find themselves and kind of rebuild themselves. So, you know, I think God has given us that time to say, you know, you need to reevaluate yourself, whether you're taking advantage of the time, whether you're backing off, or whether it is that you are creating the self that is more in line with who he is. So I think we all need to be creating like some form of idea of what it is in terms of our legacy, but that definitely is at the forefront of my mind. I think ideas, and our, like Pastor Glenn would say that all the time, you know, you can kill the individual, but the idea lives on. So if we can continue to, by our habits, have ideas that we not only don't have to say, but they are actioned out, I think that will be a successful thing. For me, when I really think of legacy, and I really think of what it is that I want for my family, even though we don't have any kids yet, like, when I think of legacy, and I think what I want for my family, is the ideas that continue to live on, or the ideas that live through me. Because I think that's the biggest thing that we try to work on, right? Like, I think sometimes we're okay with forming habits, and then we say, oh, these habits don't matter. But like, every habit matters. Everything that we do really does matter. And I mean, I don't want to freak anyone out, but you know, those are things that kids are going to be seeing, and kids are going to be emulating. So I try to be conscious as much as I can on what it is that I do, because I know that those are things that my kids are going to be seeing. And because they got her inside them too, they definitely going to be asking a bunch of questions. So I got to make sure that I'm ready for the questions, that if I'm doing something, I can give them answers. And the actions that I'm doing, and the ideas that's being imprinted into them, is things that I want to be imprinted into them.
Yes.
I can't believe you had to say it. Anyway.
So that's all kind of questions. Mama, what about this? Mama, what about this?
Well, actually, technically.
Y'all, I love that. And let me tell you why. Because even like you stated, you don't have kids yet, but obviously there are plans for a future. You're thinking about it now. Come on, like young couple. Come on, millennial couple. 3 years, 5 years, 10 years down the line, for that legacy that you're going to leave your children. I love that. And I really do hope that whoever's watching, you're pulling just that wisdom from them. Now, I want to go back to that second part of the question that I asked about understanding or acknowledging that there's people waiting on you. And Mel, we've talked about this so many times.
Wow.
Stepping out as a woman in entrepreneurship, okay, being a girl boss, and then even that as a wife, and then to go even further as a sister and as a friend. I know that there are many young ladies who are out here, whether they're in relationships, single and or married, and in ministry or business or both, because it can be both, with their, they're like, all right, how do I do this? What has God been teaching you in this season about that?
Whew, where do I start? So, okay, first of all, we both have day jobs, right? Like, he's a salesman, I'm an accountant. So that's one. And then we are social butterflies. So we deeply care about our relationships and friendships, and we try to cultivate them as much as possible. We may not be calling people every day or every week, but we make sure there's a quality friendships. Yeah. And then we had this crazy idea to also start a business. So that in and of itself is a whole full, like 2 full-time jobs in one. Yeah. And then you gotta add, you know, your spiritual life, your finances, your health and career and all these things. So how do you manage it all? To be honest, not to be churchy or anything, only by the grace of God. Literally. Stop it. Only by the grace of God. That's one. 2, understanding that you cannot do anything alone. Yeah. Anything alone at all. You can't. Like, I tried it. I fell flat on my face. Yeah. Don't do it. You will run yourself to the ground. You will burn out. You will be resentful. Don't do it. So that being said, finding people who have different skill set than you, people who are creatives, people who are talented in different areas that you may not be as talented. Like for me, I know, listen, I can spot like an error or like, I don't know, something with numbers quickly, then I can say, oh, this is off key. Like, that's not me. I will sing the whole song out of like all kind of ways, but I know I'm praising, right? But but all to say, in order to be able to manage it all, it takes humility in admitting that I need help. I need help. And it also takes wisdom in who to ask for help. Because I think a lot of times we're so afraid to be rejected, and we're so afraid to have people not meet our expectations. Although we didn't clearly explain our expectations, but that's another topic. But
I'll bring it back to
right.
that.
So knowing that you can't do life by yourself, it's been truly a blessing to have Geren in my life. Knowing that in and of itself is knowing that you have help every day, 24/7. I mean, that in and of itself, like I said, like is a blessing because not everybody has that. So acknowledging every day with a grateful heart, like, you know what? Thank you, Lord. I don't have to do this on my own. Like, I could only imagine. That's one. 2, having friends like you, like, hey, I need to run something by you. Have you thought of this? Or, you know, here's this book I'm reading, or here's this podcast I'm listening to. What do you think? And having mentors, like, I am the mentor queen, okay? I have a mentor for everything. I have a mentor for spiritual life, professional life, health life, you name it, I have a mentor for it, okay? And like, I don't know if I'm making sense, but
yeah, you are.
At first, when Geren and I, like when we were talking about mentorship, you know, at first he thought, you know, people who needed mentors were people who say they have a father figure, and he did. So he was like, I got my dad. Like, plus his dad was his baseball coach. His dad was top manager at a big bank. So he always seen, like, he's always been around his dad, and having his dad be part of his life for baseball and all these things, like Scarlet. Oh, gee.
Yeah. But like, I mean,
Anyway,
talk yourself out. Hey.
Fun. Oh my gosh, y'all, that's hilarious.
Anyway.
Speaking of tongues. Yeah. So, I mean, I definitely did not, when I first met Melissa, I didn't have a good view of mentorship in my mind. And I mean, it translated to my life, right? Like, when you don't have mentors, you don't have someone that can take you further faster, you know, you're really doing everything on your own because either you don't know how important they are, or you think, or from pride, like, and those are two things that played in my mind. Like, I didn't know how important mentorship was, and it was pride. So I was like, man, I could just do this all by myself. Like, it's not that hard. You could do it. But when life really starts throwing those punches, or when you're looking to master your craft, like, you need to have those mentors. When you're looking to not only just master it, but make your craft like part of who you are, like, those mentors are gonna be there to say, hey, this is what I did. This is maybe what you can do. This is maybe what to avoid. And those are things that it like, the other day, it just clicked, because I was like, man, you know, when you have somebody after 20 years of experience saying, hey, this is what I do now.
Right.
Like, they just pulled you 20 years ahead of where you could have been. And so, like, it's just stuff like that it just blew my mind to think that mentors are so willing and ready to be mentors.
Yeah.
But it's like, we also have to take that step to be humble enough to say, I can't do bad all by myself. Even if you can make it to the next level by yourself, to continue to go to the next level by yourself and keep going, it's going to get harder. You're going to move slower. So why not have a mentor who's already at the peak, who can just say, hey, I'll show you how to get there, and I'll show you even how to stay there, so you can start bringing more people with you. So it's like this, you go from a mentor to being a mentee. So it's some of those things where I'm still loving the process of being mentored. And I mean, it's just dope. It's something that if you don't have a mentor right now, definitely get you one. Even if it's, like, you know, go mentor crazy, but definitely put people in your life, even if you think you don't need them, who can be there, because those people are gonna take you further faster.
Yeah. And so before I was really interrupted
by yourself. I bet that's what you did. You had to talk yourself out. Don't try to get me in there.
So yeah, understanding that you need
so right out.
Bring your cracking up. That's funny.
Try to blame me.
But understanding that you can't do life alone. I mean, being in a community, knowing that, and how can I say this? Nowadays, we've found a way to surround ourselves with people who only think like us. That shouldn't be. Like, you need to surround yourself with people who think other than what you're thinking. Otherwise, at some point, it'll be the blind leading the blind. Like, no, I need you to correct me when I'm wrong. I need you to know something else than I do. Like, otherwise, what are we talking about? Like, is this just gonna be a group thing? But anyway, I digress. But all to say, like, I've always seen the importance of surrounding myself with different people, whether they look like me, talk like me, think like me. Like, just finding a whole variety of people from different backgrounds. I mean, if you ever come to a party with having, you'd be like, wait, how come so-and-so, how you know, wait, huh, what? Like, but that's the beauty of it, and that's how heaven looks like. Like, heaven is not just one color or one height or one, like, it's diverse, it's colorful, it's full of life. So let's mirror that in our everyday life. That's my thing. So long story short, knowing that you can't do life by yourself. Yeah. That's how I am able to juggle it all.
That blesses me. Do y'all know how many nuggets y'all are dropping just in these sentences? And I love how, and this is even something that not to be all deep, but We love Jesus. We
You
love.
can be deep. You can
Right.
be deep.
Dropping on me, even hearing y'all talk, is obviously mentorship, not doing this by yourself, and humility and being teachable and coachable are high values.
Mhm.
And I just can see already the days, and even now, y'all walking in it, whether you realize it or not, where you're going to be that person for somebody else. For when y'all already 3 years into y'all business, 4 years into y'all marriage, people are already, I know and believe, are looking up to you guys and saying like, okay, how did you do this? How did you do that? And you're being life. You're being able to speak life into them. And I just want to encourage y'all in that, like, keep pressing into that, because just as God has placed that sincerity concerning mentorship, y'all are definitely called to mentor a lot of people and to lead a lot of people.
Okay. Okay.
Into unknown territory. That have been less traveled. You feel me? Trailblazers. Is what I'm trying to say. Okay. But listen, I wanna give people an opportunity to hear from you all, where they can find you, all of your Instagram, Twitter, if you're on there, everything. Give us all of your contact information. But before we do that and close, is there anything else in general that the Lord has been speaking to you all concerning this season? It can be on topic of the things that we've talked about, or something completely different. Is there anything you just want to share and leave and bless the people with?
You want me to go first?
Yeah. I went first. You said ladies first the first time. I went first. You have the floor.
Talk yourself out again. That's what it was. Try to take it slow.
Right.
I think for me, one of the things that, I've been learning this season is just more about adaptability, but also as you adapt, to be available too. Like, sometimes when we adapt, we get so focused on the process of changing that we start isolating ourselves. And we start isolating ourselves from others. We start isolating ourselves from God. We start just isolating ourselves because we're like, I'm going through my process, so I got to go through it by myself. I got to be a caterpillar, and I can't be around. It's some of those things where, for me in the season, it's been very important to really tug on a lot of people who have been where I want to go, or who just have really good advice. Because this season, like, especially, and I keep going to this coronavirus season, but like this season, you have to take advantage of it. Whether you're resting, whatever you're doing, you have to take advantage of it, because people are available and people are looking to help you to adapt. And so one of the things I'm looking to do is to adapt into more of who God is calling me to be. But as we talked about this whole time, I can't do that by myself. I know that where I want to be, or who I want to be for my family, I can't do that by myself. It would be impossible for me to do it. And if I did do it, I would be so much behind the 8 ball that it wouldn't be funny. And so I would just encourage people that even if you adapt, and even if you're changing, even if you're going through your change mentally, spiritually, physically, whatever it is that you're doing, don't try to go into that cocoon. Don't try to go away from people. Just make sure that as you adapt, you continue to allow people to keep you accountable and be accessible to people, so that, because if you're going into your own time away from everybody else, I know there's a season for everything, but sometimes we use that as a crutch so that we can also take on the pride of, I did this by myself. One of the things that I'm not a huge fan of, and I hear like people say it is like self-made, and that's just like a huge notion for me, where I'm like, it just rubs me the wrong way, especially when I see my kingdom brothers and sisters saying stuff like that, because I know there's other people. It doesn't matter how old you were. Like, when you came out the womb, if you were really self-made, you would have came out the womb, you'd have paid for that emergency bill. Like, you'd have done all the things. So even from out the womb, like, we're not self-made. And so it rubs me the wrong way. So as you adapt, just continue to be, I would say, accessible to people, accessible to mentors, and accessible to God, so that He can continue to direct you. So that's kind of like what I would say God is telling me in this season.
Amen.
Let me in a short time talk about what I've been learning.
Take it easy.
Well, you already took like 3 seconds of my time. episode. Anyway, reclaiming my time. So actually, I just had this like reminder actually this morning, but this season has been teaching me to not overlook the time of preparation. I this morning I was thinking about how even during this time we're still facing giants. And when facing giants, I mean, the best example is David, how he faced Goliath. But in that story, it's very interesting how he responded to Saul when Saul was like, hey, listen, you can't go up to this, to Goliath. You a youth, and he's been a man of war from his youth. Like, brother got experience, you a baby, chill out. But what David ended up saying was very profound. Like, hey, listen, yes, he may have experience, but I have experience too. I've been keeping my father's sheep from like my whole life pretty much. So yes, we have different lengths of experience, but I also have experience. And so that being said, that reminded me that during this time, we need to continue to prepare and to develop what we need to develop, because when it's time to show up for war, you need to know that slingshot, you can actually hit whatever you're trying to hit. Like, it's not the time to, oh, let me try this arrow real quick. Let me see if this works. No, that's one. You get shot. It has been challenging me to erase my preparation and seeing that, okay, well, maybe I'm still a little rough here. Like, let me learn this a little more. Let me practice this. Like, for example, right now I'm studying for the CPA exam, and listen, that in and of itself, I'm like, okay, humble thyself, baby. Practice again. Okay, this score ain't gonna do. Practice again, you know? So, you know, with our generation trying to have microwave results, I don't think that's how every situation is supposed to be handled. So just sticking to the process. I know everyone says it, and it's easier said than done, but literally enjoying the process and knowing that it will pay off, and to keep applying yourself. So how did I do? Okay, good.
You're good, girl. You're good.
So enjoy having y'all here. I don't know. Listen, I think this has been like one of my funnest episodes to date, because we've just been like laughing, but still bringing that like solid wisdom and truth. Y'all, I can't thank y'all I thank y'all so much for being a part of this. Listen.
Thanks to you,
yes,
girl.
Thank you. Thank you for letting us be part of it.
Absolutely. Y'all are my homies, and people, y'all could probably see, like, we are friends. Like, we laugh and have speak truth. These are the type of friends that you could travel with. You know, you can't travel with all your
okay.
You know what I'm saying? But in all seriousness, guys, give them where they can find you, find out more about your business, about Shead, about your lives, and how they can plug in and tune in and support y'all. List them all.
So we have a joint Instagram page, GMelly_legacy. Oh, yep, Shead. So it's GMELI_legacy. I told y'all that's his favorite word. One day I'm like, wait, why you change his name? Anyway, so GMelly Legacy, and then we have our business page, Shead, well, Instagram, Shead SHEAD _LLC, and then on Facebook, it's Shead Buttery Smooth Skincare. So Buttery Smooth Skincare, and it's gonna pop up. And then on Facebook, he has Geren Aubry, his profile, and I'm off of Facebook right now. I've been off for the last 6 months.
Wow.
For the last 6 months, I really need to focus and keep practicing so I can ace this exam. I know. I still be like grabbing his phone like, let me find out, okay?
Comment to that meme.
But yeah, I gotta get the tea. But yeah, perfect. Yeah, so this is where you can find us. And then our website, our business website is SheadLLcompany.com.
Yeah.
So SHEADLLcompany.com.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So yeah.
Guys, make sure you tune in to them and to their business. Please make sure you check out their product. I feel like at this moment I should be like, oh, and then use special code BREE for 15% off.
Listen, boom. That's it.
Okay.
15% off BREE code. Yeah. We'll make it happen.
That's the thing now. Okay, I'm gonna have their information linked at the top for Facebook and at the bottom for YouTube. Wherever you're watching this, please make sure you tune in.
Yes.
I love them dearly, and I know that after this episode you do too, because they are amazing. Thank you guys so much again for joining me. Friends, I want you to know that you are loved, desire to inspire, and always, always be authentic. Until next time, we all say
Next time. Thank you. Love you.
bye, y'all.
Bye.